Welcome to Series 2, Video 1, How to Approach Reading an Article. Now this series will be all about reading and how to increase your reading comprehension, which will in turn help you with your writing. This is from AcademicEnglishAcademy.com. So before we begin, I'd like to talk about a couple of things with you. First, we're going to read an article tonight that's a health-based article, okay? And you're going to see throughout the video series or throughout the 12 weeks, if you enroll in classes, that we're reading a variety of different articles. Some students always question why. Why do we have to read articles about science or math or technology? That's not what I'm interested in. It's not what my career focus is. In America, if you're going to attend college in America, you have to be prepared for the fact that our educational system is different. We expect everyone to take what we call general education classes. So it means you'll take general English classes, general math, general science, okay, because we expect students to be well-rounded. It's not like in other countries where if you're just a math major, you will only take math classes, or a science major, you'll only take science classes. So when I was teaching at Nazareth College, I had students that were piano performance majors. They were music majors, but they were still expected to take math and science and English classes, okay? So not only will this series help you prepare for the TOEFL, but it will help increase your base knowledge on a lot of different subjects in English. So, as I mentioned tonight, we're reading a health-based article. First, I would like to show you a general note sheet here that goes along with this article from the New York Times, A New Cigarette Hazard, Third-Hand Smoke. Now, what I suggest that you do before you continue is to take a look here. This is just a very general note sheet. There's 14 sections in this article. And what I suggest you do is just read it for yourself and jot down any notes. The directions say reading comprehension. For each section, write down any information that you understand, anything at all. You may take notes or you may write incomplete sentences. So just generally read through the article, take it section by section, and see what you understand before you even start to look at the questions, okay? Then, look at the questions, compare them to your notes, and see how much you understood. If this article is difficult for you, you have some work to do. If this article is pretty easy for you, you're already, I would say, at least a low advanced level, and you are on the right track. So I want to talk to you about the kinds of questions that we're going to answer. These particular questions are what we call guided reading questions. They are based on the article, of course, but they go section by section for the most part. The purpose of these types of questions are to actually focus your reading. Sometimes ESL students, they get reading and reading and reading, and then they get lost. They don't remember what they're supposed to be working on. They don't remember what question to answer. These types of questions will help you prepare for the TOEFL, but they will help increase your general reading comprehension, which is what you want. You want to expand your English vocabulary and English comprehension so that you can go beyond the TOEFL exam with your knowledge and skills. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to take a look at the questions before we look at the article. Now if you took my advice, you took some notes and read the article first by yourself. Okay, now this is the next step. Look at the general guided reading comprehension questions, and now let's see how we do when we focus ourselves. Okay, so first, a very easy basic question. What is the title of the article? Well, the title of the article is called A New Cigarette Hazard, Third-Hand Smoke. Now, you're going to notice that when I answer the questions, I answer everything in a complete sentence. It's very important. So I didn't just write the title of the article, A New Cigarette Hazard, Third-Hand Smoke. I wrote it in a complete sentence. Don't forget your period. The title of the article is A New Cigarette Hazard, Third-Hand Smoke. Many people who understand their homework assignments would quickly scroll down the answers in my class. That's not really the best approach because it's not helping you really complete your thought process and your writing fluency in English. It's a requirement across the board, all ESL teachers for the most part, when you have written assignments like this, you must answer everything in complete sentences. It shows how fluent you are and how much you understand the syntax or the sentence structure that you need to know in English. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at each question and then refer back to the article. So the next question, what threat related to smoking have experts now identified? Let's take a look at the article. Okay, so it's the second question, so we're going to look very close to the top, okay? You go right in order of the questions for the most part. So if we take a look right here in the first section, I see, but experts have now identified a related threat to children's health that isn't as easy to get rid of, third-hand smoke. Okay, that answers my question. So when I go back to the reading, experts have now identified the threat of third-hand smoke. Question number 3. What does the term third-hand smoke refer to? Okay, let's take a look at the article again. Let's take a look at section 2. I'm going to highlight it right here. That's the term being used to describe the invisible yet toxic brew of gases and particles clinging to smokers' hair, clothing, cushions, and carpeting that lingers long after secondhand smoke has cleared from a room. Okay. In my complete sentence, third-hand smoke refers to the invisible toxic gases and particles from smoke that cling to hair, clothing, cushions, and carpeting even after the smoke has been cleared from a room. That's enough. That answers the question. It goes on to talk about a couple more examples, but that's enough to answer the question. Okay. Let's take a look at question 4. What do smokers do to keep secondhand smoke away from children? Now, I am looking here quickly. I don't see the answer. I'm going to look here quickly. I don't see anything that would answer the question. Okay, now remember, you've already read this one time, so the second time, your guided reading questions are guiding you to the answer. So you don't have to read those again. You quickly look, no answer here, no answer here. Let's move on. Okay, this might be something. When their kids are out of the house, they might smoke. Or they smoke in the car. Or they strap the kids in a car seat in the back and crack the window and smoke. And they think it's okay because the secondhand smoke isn't getting to their kids. Okay, that sounds like a good answer. I'm going to go back here. Parents smoke outside the home or they smoke in the car with the window opened. Now, I'm taking the information and making my own sentence. If you're not comfortable with doing that yet, if you need to copy the sentence directly from the article, that's fine, do it, okay? Soon, if you keep working on your English, keep reading and writing, keep enrolling classes, you will be able to do what we call paraphrasing, taking an answer and changing it to fit into your own words, okay? Number 5, are these smoking practices helping to keep children safe? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go right back to the section I was reading because it looks like there might still be an answer there. And they think it's okay because the secondhand smoke isn't getting to their kids. We need a term to describe these tobacco toxins that aren't visible. Okay. So there are still invisible toxins from the cigarettes that are harmful. That's what this section is telling me. So I can make a sentence answering the question that says, these smoking practices are not helping keep children safe because there are still toxic invisible particles from the smoker's odor that children can still smell. Now, I took some of this question, these smoking practices, to keep children safe, and use this to form my answer. These smoking practices are not helping keep children safe. So always refer to your question to help you start your complete sentence. Let's take a look here at question 6. How many households, and a household is a family or group of people that live together in one house. How many households in the United States were questioned for this survey? So let's take a look at the article again. Okay, and I find that answer right here. The study reported on attitudes towards smoking in 1,500 households across the United States. So very easy, go back to your article. This should be corrected here. It's not 15,000, but 1,500. 1,500 American households were questioned for this survey. Okay, question 6. How many smokers and non-smokers agreed that secondhand smoke is harmful to infants and children? Okay, and if we take a look at the same section, we have right here the percentages. Some, 95% of non-smokers and 84% of smokers agreed with the statement that inhaling smoke from a parent's cigarette can harm the health of infants and children. Okay, very good. 95% of non-smokers and 84% of smokers agreed that secondhand smoke is harmful to infants and children. Okay, question 7. We're almost done here. How many smokers and non-smokers agreed that third-hand smoke is also a problem? Okay, again, we're going to go right back to the article. Okay, but far fewer of those surveyed were aware of the risks of third-hand smoke. Okay, so let me keep reading, and I find my answer right down here. Only 65% of non-smokers and 43% of smokers agreed with the statement, which researchers interpreted as acknowledgement of the risks of third-hand smoke. Okay, so I don't need to say all of that. I'm just going to say only 65% of non-smokers and 43% of smokers agreed that the third-hand smoke is also a problem. Now, I put an asterisk right here by number 8 because this is what we call a two-part question. And even very fluent ESL students always seem to miss two-part questions. You have to answer both parts. And so often people only answer the first part and completely forget about the second part. So let's take a look at this. When was this survey conducted and who was in charge of this survey? So when was this done and who was in charge? Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm going to look in this article. I don't see anything about a date. It mentions a doctor's name, but I'm not entirely sure he was in charge. Let me keep reading. Again, no date about when the survey was conducted or who was in charge. Now down here, okay, this section right here says the data was collected in a national survey done between September and November 2005. Okay, so I have the time, I have the when. Let me keep reading to see if I can find out who conducted this survey. Okay, and if I look in the very next section, okay, mentions a doctor's name. It does not say that he was the head of the survey though. So it's important to keep reading, because if they're asking you a specific question like that, it means that there's definitely a specific answer. They're going to mention who is in charge. Now I don't see anything here or here that helps me answer that question. So this could be a question where I've got to go back to the beginning. Okay, here we go, right here in this section. Everyone knows that secondhand smoke is bad, but they don't know about this, said Dr. Jonathan P. Winikoff, the lead author of the study and an assistant professor of pediatrics at Harvard Medical School. Okay, so now I have my answer. The survey was conducted from September to November in 2005, and the lead author of the study was Dr. P. Winikoff from Harvard Medical School. Okay, so we're here on to our last question, number 9. Read the sentence from the article. There are carcinogens in this third-hand smoke, and they are a cancer risk for anybody of any age who comes into contact with them. Now answer the following question. What does the word carcinogen most likely mean? Could it mean A, toxin, B, dilemma, C, cancer causing, and D, poison? Now the correct answer is cancer causing. Okay? If you're paying attention to the sentence, carcinogens, they're a cancer risk. So even if you're not 100% sure, the best guess would be cancer causing, because it says right here they are a cancer risk. Now, A and D are what we call tricks, and B is an obvious wrong answer. A dilemma is more like a serious problem that you're facing in life. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with any disease. But toxin and poison are also related to sicknesses. People call things that cause cancer toxins and poisons, but these are trick questions because what they expect you to do on the TOEFL exam is choose the very best answer. So you're going to have to get used to questions like this and do your best to eliminate wrong answers, and do your best to look at the clues in the sentence to see if you can understand what the vocabulary means. And we'll be working on this throughout the 12 weeks and in some of the open videos and assignments. Okay, now the next thing that all ESL students worry about is their vocabulary. Everyone wants to increase their vocabulary. The thing with that is you can't do that overnight. And you most certainly cannot just take 20 words and memorize them. It won't work. You'll remember them for a short period of time, but later when you really need them, you won't be able to use them in your writing, and you won't be able to use them in your conversation properly. So what we recommend, research shows that you should not take more than 7 or 8 words at a time. Okay, right here, I have just 8 words from the article. Now, there may have been many words. Maybe you didn't understand 20 or 30 words. Don't take that many, okay? Take just 7 or 8 words and go through them. And what you need to do is do your best to write sentences with these words. That will increase your understanding and increase your fluency. Okay, so I chose secondhand smoke. And the sentence I created is, when a non-smoker inhales smoke from a smoker's cigarette, they are inhaling secondhand smoke. Third-hand smoke. When a person inhales just the odor of smoke from a person's hair or clothing, they are inhaling third-hand smoke. So you need to be able to use these sentences fluently for them to become a real part of your new English vocabulary, okay? You can't just study the definitions. That's not going to work. You really need to be able to use them in your writing properly, so that way it will come into your speaking, okay? The more you read, the more that it will improve your writing. It's definite research shows that. So I have also the word pediatrics. Pediatrics is an area of medicine that specializes in children. Now this is just for example purposes, okay? This is just for the video lesson. You may have chosen different vocabulary words because you might have understood pediatrics or the word ingest. You take a look at the article for yourself. There will be video assignments, of course, and assignments in the 12-week program that assign vocabulary to use. But you will always find that there are more and more words to learn. So you can't be frustrated when there seems to be a lot of words that you don't understand, okay? So here, there's the word ingest. You can ingest food by eating, or you can ingest smoke by inhaling. So in this sentence, they don't have to be long sentences. It's not necessarily going to help you to make a long, complex sentence. Something nice and short and simple is best. Carcinogens are chemicals that cause cancer. That's basically the definition, but it's a complete sentence. One really simple thing that I need to point out is the periods at the end of each sentence. It's really vital that you don't forget these, especially because the reason we're writing complete sentences is so that it will transfer over into your essay writing. And the periods are what signal a pause in thinking and a pause in your information, and that helps the reader's thought process. Remember, the reader is your professor or the TOEFL scorer. Toxic. Smoke is toxic or harmful to people, especially young children. See, these sentences are pretty simple, okay, but they're going to help your writing fluency. Survey. A type of research project in which the researcher asks many people some questions about a topic. And finally, the word sample. It is a group of people who participate in a research project. So that's the lesson for tonight. First, you read the article by yourself and took some notes. Then you used the guided reading questions to focus your thinking. And then we had 8 vocabulary words that will help you understand the article and increase your fluency. So take a look at the video tonight, take a look at the work, and see how you do. If you understood this article really well and you understood all of this vocabulary, you're really on track, you're more of an advanced student, and you're on your way to preparing for the TOEFL exam. If you feel like this was more of a challenge for you, then don't worry. You still have some work to do, but with the video lessons and the writing assignments, you're going to come a really long way. So thank you so much, and happy reading.